senior from Bethesda. Really good look at a goal. That was a great look by Jason Knox. Buckeyes even it up.
You see on this goal, Knox is a big lefty. He uses his deception. Here, the goalie thinks he's going high. He uses deception to hide that stick and bury it low.
And I love the release point too, because Knox, I've watched a lot of his shooting. He's a lefty from Canada, so there's a lot of three-quarter.
Team can't shake him. McCann beats his man initially, then he gets a triple team and gets hammered.
This is masterclass in terms of doubling and then recovering. Right, you send the double, but can you recover? Can you deal with the quick ball movement of Notre Dame? And in that case, that was fantastic. So this is great defense throughout the entire possession. The doubles, the physicality, the ground ball play. And then you see the push by Pat Kavanaugh.
In this rivalry to the Buckeyes, they need to change that in a hurry.
The seniors at Notre Dame under Kevin Corrigan have never beaten the Buckeyes.
That'll help. Chris Kavanaugh, his first goal of the day. Irish back on top.
The ability not only to shoot off of a long feed by his brother, Pat Kavanaugh, but to hammer it off that high crease angle. A lot of guys like to shoot.
Header today on ESPN Networks. Virginia, talk about an offense that just seems unstoppable. Take it on Towson. Anisha Q going to have that call. Walker scores. Everyone's eating.
We talked about the versatility of Brian Tevlin. Maybe the most versatile midi in the country is Quinn McCann, and he does everything. He plays defense, but he also can slice and dice and feed teammates like Bryce Walker.
You see Walker, I think the reason he got his hands free, it's that hitch. That initial hitch is what gets the eyes of the defense to freeze. Just an elite goal scorer. I mean, his hands. I don't know if I've ever seen someone with the hands inside of a defense like him.
Pat nowhere to go. Now he gets his hands free. Wallace makes the initial save but can't stop the rebound. Brother Chris, that's goal number 2. Clark, the knack for being in the right place at the right time is unbelievable for these two.
It's toughness too. You want to junk it up in the middle. Pat with a nice little shake, and he uses his left hand. Keep in mind, he's a right-handed player. Shows you his versatility. Little bro's like, all right, I'll pick up your trash.
You know, a lot of people talk about the Kavanaugh's ability to dodge, pass, stop on a dime to get to the middle of the field.
And get inside and then continue your angle upfield. The Kavanaughs, they don't fear anyone. These two young men are as tough as it gets. Like matchups, like, yeah, I'm playing against a potential first-team All-American. I could care less. I'm going at him.
Pelkey moves his right hand and got free and scores. The senior from Leesburg, Virginia, with his 3rd on the year. Buckeyes had to have it.
It's been tough sledding for the Buckeyes in terms of winning one-on-one matchups. Who's going to be the guy? You go to the second midfield. You go to a senior who's been around the block. Mitchell Pelkey says it's me. Ohio State not ducking the Irish.
As far as collegiately, and now suiting up, wearing number 9 in red for the Buckeyes today. Coming around the corner, that's Jack Simmons. Coach talked about how much he's got a lot of shake in him, and he showed it there. Beautiful dodge to put separation between himself and his defender, and he scores.
You know, I love when he inverts. I know Coach Corrigan loves this look. He talks about Simmons and his ability to dodge. When he can beat a matchup and the slide doesn't go, a lot of those opportunities are going to be cashed in on, and I think, you know, he's such a threat. You gotta, as a defense, you gotta start turning your head to him.
There's two things that pop.
Not as old school as I am, but I think you recognize the fact that on this team you got Tevlin, you got McCann, guys that play the old school where there's less specialization. If you're a midfielder, you're a midfielder. You're running on both sides of the field.
I think what both those guys are doing is incredibly impressive, and you know, as the game has evolved, I think there's been more specialization, like you said. In the women's game, these midfielders, wow.
There's nothing specialized about that other than the fact that it's just a lefty hammer on the run, his second of the day.
The specialized midfielder is a dying breed, as you guys are discussing. And then there's the hired gun. Guy you want to keep on the offensive end. Every single opportunity your team can strike. 8 and white Dobson. That's special, to be able to move at full. Little hitch, like the little subtle, and you know that better than anyone, Charlotte. Like the little hitch with his right foot there to give his body and his dodge to the left side so much more room.
What I love about him, not only his ability to shoot on the run, but his ability to slow into a dodge. That changes speed. You see it again.
He just that extra step, he got that on cool, and then got closer to the goal, better angle, beat Wallen again. 2 in a row for Dobson.
Do you remember I talked about the hitch on that prior goal? He did it again. Watch him drop his right foot right here, and then he goes to the races.
Yeah, again, it's that change of speed. He's almost skip jumping, jogging into that dodge. That's what hits that next level speed after that hitch move for him to free his hands on the run.
State. McCann, he'll let it fire. Wallen makes the stop, but in front, Wallen again. Thought Kavanaugh might get another look at it. Wallen gives chase, look at the hustle.
What a ground ball by Chris Kavanaugh.
McCann will try it again. This time he buries it.
You want to be a complete attackman? One of the boxes you want to check? Fight, scrap after every ground ball. Watch Chris Kavanaugh, 50 in white, go after this ball. Once he scoops it, heads up, and then it's go time.
You see Quinn McCann try that shot. He gets a second chance at it, and it's all credit to the Kavanaughs. He was a little more free. He had more of a lane to really step into this overhand hammer, bottom left.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot on a lefty goalie, and Quinn McCann in the second ox.
Simmons, one of those transfers Clark you talked about. Westland, tough angle, but he got his hamstring, scores.
Look at the bench. That's a fifth-year senior who hasn't had a ton of opportunities. It's Ryan Wellner's drawing it up on defense. I call that a juice goal. That's a locker room goal. Everyone's lived with a guy like Griffin Westland for 5 years in their locker room, and it's payback in terms of the hard work.
You know what I love about their offense is, you know, you have the quarterbacks and the Kavanaughs, but you got to worry about all 6 guys out there. They're all threats. On ball.
Dobson, now he shoots a pass to Chris, and Chris Kavanaugh scores again. The hat trick. And it's all Irish here in the second half.
We're seeing a complete game on display by the junior Eric Dobson. Struggled shooting the rock, 1 for 9 a week ago against Maryland. 2 third-quarter goals here in South Bend, and that beautiful pass to Chris Cav. The Irish are rolling.
They got to go to Michigan next. Loose ball tracked down by Chris Kavanaugh, loses footing, pushed out of bounds though as the flag comes.
I don't know about this. Is it from the back? It's an aggressive play by Cullen Brown. I like the way that he sold out and got physical, because you have to do that with the Kavanaughs when they're going after loose balls. They're going to fight you.
Critical ground ball there. That's huge.
Take a look, Chris Kavanaugh. Yeah, there was some pressure behind there. Real time, I couldn't tell. I thought that's the right call. It's 30 seconds for this extra man.
Irish 1 for 1 on this day. That beautiful feed from Dobson to Chris Kavanaugh, the man up.
Better play 8. They're giving him some cushion.
Now he's up top. Over to Pat. You know you're great. You're like a Brazilian soccer player when it's just one name. It's Pat, it's Chris.
Yeah.
Look who it is, Jake Taylor. If they get him going, they might be lights out and unbeatable offensively, Charlotte.
Look at the way they get the ball out of their pockets so fast. That behind-the-back pass by Pat into a one-touch down to Jake Taylor on the crease. That ball movement is beautiful.
I love it. It's deception. Because Pat Kavanaugh has it in his right hand. Everyone thinks maybe he's going to spin it up top to Dobson. Go BTB. Heads are spinning. It's Pat, it's Chris, and it's Jake.
Play to the ball, keeps possession. They'll reset the shot clock to 60. Force pass and a goal! Pat Kavanaugh finishes it off.
They're having some fun too. When you play offense and you're throwing behind the backs, guys like Dobson are spraying it from deep. Everyone's eating, Charlotte.
We talked about the hands of Jake Taylor, but the hands to receive a pass at that speed from his brother, to be able to turn the corner, switch hands, and all in one motion, get a quality shot off on Cage. That is why he is one of the best in the...
Myers has been quiet. Now Sheen trying to get underneath the defender. Chris Conlon, another great job getting the ball back for the Irish. They'll be able to kill off this man down.
And it's going to be a pick 'em.
Dobson, forget about it. Fourth goal of the day, ties a career high.
Dangerous choice to leave him open on that lefty wing, but you see it's the dodging ability of these guys up top to draw the eyes of the defense. Again, too many threats. You got to slide to the Dodger, but you're leaving Dobson open from outside on the lefty wing. He's always going to cash in there.
It's a great point because you have Kavanaugh.
Paul, just imagine what this crowd's going to be like if it's 1 versus 2 with Virginia in 2 weeks. They're going to be climbing the walls here.
It's going to be unreal, and this place does a fantastic job.
Finally got one by Entenmann. Buckeyes break that long drought. It's Dylan McGee's 5th of the year.
It's the Texas boy. Charlotte North's home state. Dylan McGee played a lot of his youth lacrosse on Long Island. Moved to the Lone Star State. Tremendous athlete, a high school football player down there, and he loves contact. And you saw him fight through that.
Navy and green as well. Wallen makes 2 saves. Shot clock, horn went off, but I think that got to Wallen beforehand, so it's irrelevant. Now it's a battle for the loose ball, which might be won by the Irish. It is. Pat Kavanaugh, forget it. Just too much, too strong, too relentless on both sides of the field. That's the easiest goal he'll score today.
The play's never over when you're playing the Irish. Tevlin understands a relentless approach. Pat Kavanaugh, Connor Schellenberger, in the way that he operates and runs an offense. Charlotte, greatness recognizes greatness. When you watch Schellenberger, like, what's different about this guy?
I mean, he just, similar to the Kavanaughs, but he draws the eyes of a defense, and his dodging ability into his passing ability, second to none. I mean, he's dishing to guys like Dixon inside, and who has, you know, hands similar to Jake Taylor, but can catch anything and bury it, and that's lethal when you have that combination.
And he's a student of the game. I spent a full day with him a couple weeks ago down in Charlottesville. He approaches the attack position like a big-time college football quarterback or a pro quarterback looks at their craft, watching tape, breaking things down. And what I love about his game the most, he had 3 assists against Hopkins. He could care less about points.
Right.
He's never chasing points. And there's Camille. We've seen that now twice from him in terms of just getting out of position and losing his approach defensively.
Tevlin made him pay. There's that stutter step, just enough to get his hands free. No slide, beats Wallen.
I love
Midfielder, and Dobson did it against Camille in the first half, and then Tevlin did it. Was the stutter, the shake, the change of speeds? Because if you flatline a guy like that and you just try to speed dodge, he's going to be on your hips the whole time. That little stutter gives all the space.
Again, juice goal, crowd's going nuts. Fulton Bayman joins the party. That's 10 different goal scorers on the day for the Irish.
More creativity here by Notre Dame. You see him increase his angle. He's at near goal line, but because he relies on the backhand.
And for you to be up here with us today and breaking everything down and being part of our team, it's been an absolute joy.
Final horn sounds and our final score 16-3. Notre Dame with the big W. Coming up next, more lacrosse. We got Towson and Virginia.